while we've been here, Lisa and I have been on the intercession team, which pretty much means that we spend a lot of time praying for our other teams as they go out and as they come back and they will be restored, and also just pray for the work that God's doing as we go out in Carnival. So part of being on the intercession team is spending some time in our 24/7 prayer room. And so Elisa and I have been pulling shifts there every day just to spend time of prayer for our teams and for any team members that come in and just need prayer, feeling discouraged or tired. We spend some time praying for them as well. I was in the prayer room on my own, and two Mexican girls came in, and thankfully one of them spoke English well enough that we could communicate. And I asked if they needed prayer for anything, how they were doing, and one of the girls said, you know, we actually do need prayer. We're sisters. We're really excited to be here for this outreach, and we want to be here, but we are having a really hard time focusing because while we're here, our father, who's in another city, has been struggling health-wise, and this week the doctors have really been starting to say that it's very possible it could be cancer, and while we're away, he's going to receive a diagnosis. And last we heard, the doctors were quite positive that it was cancer. And I said, oh wow, I know a little bit of how that feels, and I asked what kind of cancer it was. And they didn't know the English word for it, but all that we knew is that it's a cancer in this region, which, if some of you know my family story from the last 6 months, my dad was diagnosed with colon cancer about 6 months ago. And so I was able to just sit with them and encourage them and just pray that they would receive the same encouragement and peace that our family had received, and just able to hug them and just, I know exactly what it feels like to be waiting for that diagnosis and to be in that time of anxiety and turmoil. And but I also look back at that time with my family and know it was such an incredible time of peace that truly transcended all human understanding. And so that's what I prayed for them, that they would experience the same thing. And then after we prayed, I felt like I needed to just read a passage of scripture over them. So I turned to my Bible and I found Psalm 91 and just felt like that's a scripture that would be encouraging to them. So I read it to them in English, and then they had a Spanish Bible, so they read it in Spanish as well. And after we read it, one of the girls had gotten somewhat emotional and just said, when I was a little girl, my dad would travel for work, and when he would leave, I'd be scared and I didn't want him to go, and so he would sit down with me and he would open his Bible to the Psalms and he would read Psalm 91 for me before he would go on his trips. And so she said, as we were reading this psalm, it was like God was just coming again and saying, I'm here with you now, and you don't have to be afraid, and just brought her such peace. And so that was just a really cool moment of seeing God work and just giving her exactly what she needed, and just to see the tie back to when she was a little girl and how God had reassured her then, and now how he was reassuring her again. And so that's just one of the stories from the prayer room, and we've just had an incredible time of praying with other team members and other people, and just seeing God really meet them and give them what they need for that moment.